Ladies and gentlemen, here we are live on Facebook with real estate extraordinaire from our Southwest office. And okay, a little different because she does it a little different. She's commercial, mostly businesses. Jennifer Weinberg, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. And the studio audience goes crazy. All right. Tell us a little. Okay, I'm really glad you were able to join us from your first class seat. Okay, today. Your chair reminds me of a first class chair. I love it with the little side wings there. Tell us a little about yourself, Jennifer. How long you've been doing this? All that good stuff, please.
Yeah, first, thank you, Rick. I always enjoy being on your show, so thanks for having me. And my story is a little unique, actually, or maybe not so unique for the company, but I started here 26 years ago. Got my real estate license when I was 25. Mark Stark actually personally interviewed me. That's when he, back in the day, did his own interviews. And I came on board back then. So I've come and gone from the company a couple times, but here I am to stay and going on 26 years now with the company, off and on.
We love that. We love that. And I always love to talk to you because you're awesome to talk to, and like you said, you do it differently. And tell us a little about that and what's going on out there. And you had an incredible year last year, and I know I look at I have all the numbers here. Well, here they are, and so I know you're doing well this year too. So give us an idea of what you do and how you do it.
Yeah, I actually started out in residential, Rick, just like everybody else. And about year seven, eight, I decided I wanted to be a business broker. There aren't a lot of business brokers still to this day. There's maybe 15 to 20 active business brokers in the field, that do this day in and day out. I think I'm the only one here at the company, but that's kind of how everything started. That was the first time I actually left the company, and I left to get that training that I was looking for, and then came back. But I specialize in selling businesses. I'm a full commercial agent, so there really isn't much I don't do at this point in my career. I cover industrial, retail, office, land, pretty much all commercial aspects and sectors, including being a business broker, which I love. I love being a business broker. I love going out. And for me, it's, I was looking for something a bit more challenging, and not that selling homes isn't challenging. We all know what we're always up against, during a transaction. But for me, I thought, businesses going out and walking into a business and learning how to appraise those and giving values of businesses and working with business owners that way was a little bit more challenging, and I enjoy it a little bit more from that sector. So I'm happy to be doing what I do.
Yeah, it's got to be exciting too, right? Especially with Las Vegas. Last night the Golden Knights won, which is awesome. Hopefully they can take home
Yeah.
the Stanley Cup. Yeah, I was at Game Three last series where they were down 3-0 and they came back and won with a good friend of mine. And it's just so great because you know what? Like I was here. I've been here 16 years now, and I was here when the Knights first came, and it's amazing what that hockey team, the professional team. I mean, the Aces were already here a few years, but it's amazing what happens when a professional team and how it affects the city and how it affects your business too, right? I would imagine a lot.
It does, and my business really depends on a lot of what's happening in Las Vegas. Our business owners coming in because but it does follow real estate. Are they buying homes? Are they looking to lease space and open new businesses here in our wonderful state of Nevada? So it all kind of goes hand in hand. But when one sector is hurting, the other is hurting too. Right now everything is flat across the board, really. We've got. I think I've heard Matt Martinez. I think I saw him tell us on Facebook that 1,600 homes have come off the market. Not because they're overpriced, just they're just not selling. My this year, even though I'm doing well, this has been probably one of the strangest years for me. I have more listings sitting on the market, commercial buildings, businesses. I have some residential going on still. They're all sitting there, everything. So it kind of goes hand in hand. When one market's hurting, the other markets are hurting as well. So it affects
Yeah,
all areas.
it's kind of steady, but not. Yeah, it's not terrible, and it's not obviously ballistic. But
It's flat.
when we
It's flat.
yeah, it's flat. Yeah, that's
It's
that's
flat.
a good way to put it. It's kind of
Yeah.
it's a normal. middle market where you have to compete for sellers, have to compete for buyers, and but remember in February when the base rate came down and the interest rates hit 5.99 for mortgages. I mean, we went on a good 2-3 week run there, and then a war in Iran started, and boom, yeah, the interest rates went up, the gas prices went up, but the stock market has rebounded. It's not only has it rebounded, it's way over. I mean, the Dow's over 51 today, and this S&P and the Nasdaq have hit record and record. That's the first thing to happen, and it's happened. Gas prices are starting to come down. That'll help, and then the interest rates will come down, and that'll help. And it'll. I think this market is just one little adjustment away from igniting. That's how I feel. I don't know how you feel with your business brokers, but that's how I kind of feel about it.
Yeah, I have to say SBA rates. I mean, I don't know what they are today, but a couple weeks ago they were like sitting at 6%, which is excellent for SBA. So that's good for my sector. But I do specialize. I sell every type of business, but I sell a ton of restaurants. And typically the restaurants will flip. I don't have them very long because if you go into LoopNet per se and you say, I think I want to open a restaurant in Las Vegas, but I don't have 70 grand for a grease trap and a hood. So I at least need to have that. So I'm going to go find a restaurant with at least that. You're good luck. You're not going to find maybe 5, 6 on the market, in Las Vegas. So for me to flip those restaurants are pretty fast. And I probably have 8 sitting on the market right now, with no activity at all. So they're just sitting there, crickets. So,
Right,
yeah.
right. And you sold a lot of them. Any fun special ones you want to mention, or that you can that you've done in the past? Maybe we've done this before too. You can only say so much, but you've had some interesting properties you've sold before and businesses.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely have, and especially growing up here in Las Vegas, some of the properties I have sold in the past have meant a lot to me. One of the ones I sold that was my most favorite was Crystal Palace Skating Rink, and I sold that to oh my God, what's his name? The boxer Mayweather. Sorry, kind of blank. Mayweather. He bought that from us, but that was a great deal. I did have the Sterling Club for sale. That's turned over. So yeah, it's been involved in some great deals over the years that have meant quite a bit to me, and I was, it's been cool to be involved with them. So yeah.
Yeah, my wife remembers that roller skating rink, and I mean that the skating rink where they used to go as kids on Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights and tear the place up.
Yeah, I've been here since '78, Rick. When I moved here, there was less than 300,000 people. I had birthday parties there. My kids have had birthday parties there, so it was very cool. Yeah, to get to sell one of them. Hmm.
Good. How was
Yeah,
it dealing with the champ? That's what he still calls
I
himself.
never. Well, I'm not a personal fan, but I didn't deal with him. I was just in touch with his agent. But to be honest, that wasn't the best transaction. I was calling
Ah,
Aldo all the time, like Aldo, Aldo. So
yeah, who's right next door to me now? Who's been promoted?
yeah.
He's right next door to me now, so which is great. Right.
Yeah,
So,
and I miss Aldo. He was my broker for 15 years, Rick. You
yeah,
know?
I
Yeah.
actually hear that a lot because they're just Aldo is such a he's such a come on his office, he does everything for you. He's really like hands on dude, which is great.
There's no one like him. He's one of the best brokers I've ever worked for in my life.
Yeah,
Yeah. No one
that's
like
awesome.
Aldo. Yeah.
No one like Aldo. We love Aldo.
We
All right.
love him very much. Yeah.
So you tell us now, because let's face it. I mean, how many people have you seen selling businesses? I mean, not a lot of people make it selling businesses, and you've not only made it, you've done incredibly well. So give us your top 3 things. If I want to be successful in this business, and like you said, not only did you take a challenging business, but you made it even more challenging by selling businesses, not just residential houses or commercial leases. You sold businesses. So, what are the top 3 things you tell us that we should focus on if we want to be successful in this business?
Selling businesses or just in this market overall?
Either one. I would say either one. Just in this market overall, I would say.
A lot of, I do have a team. A lot of people have come on my team to try to be business brokers, but they don't do the right things. And I think in any sector of this business, you need to get out there and socialize. You need to meet your peers, your colleagues. That's the way deals are done. If Commercial is completely different than residential. If they don't know you in commercial, they won't even call you back, period. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. If they don't know who you are, they are not going to call you back. So how do you get these commercial agents to get to know who you are? Go to their events, join NAIOP, join CCIM. You know what I mean? Get to know these agents. So that's been a big deal for me because when I made that switch, I didn't know one commercial agent in this whole town, and then to get out there because everyone's a referral source for me because residential agents can't do it. You have to have a permit on your license. Commercial agents can't do what I do either. So they need me. They may need me to help them do a joint venture, because sometimes a residential agent, they could do is like if they get a call and it's assisted living, they could do the residential, real estate, right? But they can't do the business inside. Same with a commercial agent. They can do the commercial building, but they can't sell the business inside. So the way that I really got out there to get my name, because my name is really like a household name now, but it's taken me 26 years to get there, for people to really know my name and know who I am. Well, how did I get there? Because I went to events, because I went to get to know these people. So that's one thing that really has helped my career a lot get ahead is get out there, get to know people, and socialize.
It's such a great point too, because you're right. There's a lot of residential agents out there that have a friend or a family member or whatever that want to sell their business. They can't help them. So
No,
so you prospect the agents within the business, within our company here, and within all of, I was going to say Galvar, but now they've made it boring and called it LVR. I used to love the name Galvar so much better,
right.
didn't it?
And I'm very involved at LBR. I was on the
Yeah.
board last year. I've sat on and a lot of people, this amazes me, Rick, is we're all part of Las Vegas Association of Realtor. They're actually two divisions. There's a residential side, which houses 15,000 members or so, give or take. But we also have a commercial side, and we have 600 members, on that side as well. And that's Commercial Alliance Las Vegas. And I've sat on that board 5 years now. I've been on that board. So, and I teach, I'm a teacher now. I teach CE at LVR as well. So, it's near and dear to my heart. And now I'm kind of in a place, 26 years later in my career that I can give back what's in my head, through my classes. So that's kind of been exciting to me. And I've kind of switched gears. Not that I don't do transactional work, but I love being able to educate people and give back, and teach them everything that I've learned over the years and how not to make the same mistakes that I have, and try to help them out as well. So I
Yeah.
love LBR. I love being part of it there, but I'm happy to be off the main board. That was not fun last year. So,
Yeah. Weren't you president?
huh?
You were president, weren't you, last year?
I was president of CALV,
Right. Right.
but now, right. So, which I was director on the main board, LVR. But
Okay.
now I'm past president, so I'll fall off next year. But I've been on that board 5 years, 5 years, so long time.
Nice. Wow. Yeah, that's definitely giving back. How do you like? What's the name of your CE class? What's it called?
Well, I teach all commercial at LBR. So I have agency. I teach an ethics class. I teach a business broker 101 class. I teach a commercial 101 class, and then I teach contracts because on our side, commercially, we don't have one form like residential agents do. It's kind of it's the wild wild west on the commercial side. So we do have one form that is nationally recognized, which is air forms. So I actually teach air forms in a contract class as well. So I only have five classes, but I'm just writing them one at a time at this point. But as commercial agents, we don't have any CE. We're stuck taking, just the same CE as residential agents, and we're not, being able to expand out or learn anything new because we're learning things that don't really apply to us, like home inspection CE classes and, solar CE classes. That doesn't really apply to commercial agents per se. So,
Right.
just trying to create education that commercial agents have options for at our association.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I asked you the question, the three things, and I think you started with socialize, get out there, talk to people. Fill your pipeline. I think you also went into educate yourself, which is important. Anything else you want to add to that list?
Yeah, say no. If I would have learned that a long time ago, then I would be a lot further ahead. I was always yes. Oh yes. Do you need to meet me 8 o'clock at night? Sure. You know what I mean? Whatever they wanted, I would yes. And now I'm a no. Because my time is valuable, and I've learned that later in my career. And I wish I would have respected my time earlier in my career. So now I learn to say no a lot more often, and I don't take every deal that crosses my, and I don't do favors, and I don't reduce my commission. And because I tell them I'm not a discount broker, and if that's what you're looking for, then you need to go find somebody else. I would have never said that 20 years ago.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I've learned those kind of aspects in my career have really kind of pushed things ahead for me and given me the clients that I've really wanted to work with, and not the ones I really don't want to work for. So, and I've
Right.
learned how to fire clients as well,
I
because
love
some of
it.
them need to
Well,
be fired. Some of them suck you dry, and and you need to have that energy for other clients.
energy vampires. Right. No, it's so true. When you've been doing business as well as you have for, 26 years, you develop a pipeline, you develop a consistency, and it feels good every now and then when something comes across and you go, if you want to do it, it's got to be done like this. If you don't want to do it that way, I understand. And it's kind of like when you talk to I would imagine in teaching a CE class or dealing with other business brokers, when you actually tell somebody who's thinking about getting involved what you do and what's involved, they probably go, I'm not going to do that. Are you out of your mind?
That's
Right.
exactly what happens. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't want to do commercial. And they think, "Oh, it's so easy. I could sell land." But you know what? That's where you'll probably get sued, is doing the land, where you think it's so simple, but you're missing so many steps. Just thinking about it, just as an example, if you're going to go sell a million, they want it's $1 million an acre now, right? Or more or less, but let's just say it's $1 million. Are you really getting 1 acre? You're really getting, usable space for 1 acre? Or are they going to, by the time you have to put the gutters in and the sidewalks, it's really going to be like 0.73. Well, if you don't know that, and you don't know to, tell the client to go get certain phase one, phase two, and all these inspections, maybe to make sure that just certain things like that. So a lot of agents will get themselves in trouble thinking they can do commercial, and sounds easy, looks easy, but it's really not. You shouldn't play in the arenas. At least find an agent that will hold your hand, help you through the transaction. But I highly don't recommend trying to do it on your own, even something as easy as you think land would be, in theory,
Yeah.
because that's where you're going to get caught up.
Yeah. It reminds me in my home state, I was able to, I sold it was like a 12 family property with a convenience store inside. And I remember because I used to go to the store every day, right, to get my coffee, and they had a sub shop next door, and I knew everybody there, and they asked me to sell it, and in my state at that time, you only needed one license, right? So I took it,
Right.
and I remember I was super educated as to because the business out of the whole thing, the real estate was easy, like you said. The business inside was the hard part to come up with a value for and make a package deal. So they eventually ended up separating it into the real estate and then into the business, which I learned along the way.
And to be honest, I couldn't even, back in the day, I didn't even know how to read my own tax return. I
Yeah,
remember my CPA would send it over. He's like, make sure you review this. I'm like, I don't know. Okay, yeah, I don't know what it even says. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
now, all these years later, it's like kind of night and day from my skill set, of where I used to be to now. But it comes with experience. I remember walking into my first restaurant, they weren't making any money, and they go, "How much is it worth?" And I was like, oh my God, I have no idea. You know what I mean? But you learn through experience. So, and I really
yeah,
do love what I do. I love walking into businesses and helping them, achieve their dream, just like residential agents do. These people have, some of them been in business 20, 30 years. They want to retire, they want to be with their family. It's their blood, sweat, and tears that they put all of their life into. So it's very rewarding,
it
you
is.
know?
No, I can see
Yeah.
that. I can see that in the way you describe it too. It's very rewarding for you. You enjoy it. It's got to,
Mhm.
it requires. I mean, let's face it. Single family residential is pretty black and white. You have a plot. It's registered at the registry, right? You're selling it. But with businesses, it requires a little bit more, even in the forms, like you said, the creativity and the way you could put deals together. It's not just like standard financing. There's so many different ways you can do it, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and you really need to know what you're doing. You know what I mean? I mean, some of these agents, they go and do this kind of business without a permit on their license without knowing what they're doing because they don't want to miss a commission. And
Right.
it just surprises me every time. And I don't know why it still does after all these years. But I'll even have agents sometimes they'll come to me and go, "Hey, can I get your form?" And my first, knee jerk reaction, anyone asking me for a form is, if you need a form, you should not be doing the business.
Right.
Period. If you
That's
need
a
the
good answer.
form, you should not be doing the business. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because you're obviously not in a place where you know what you're doing
Yeah.
yet, I think.
Well,
So,
it's like you just said, and you said it nicely, but I'll say it more point blank. They're thinking about the commission versus their fiduciary responsibility, right?
mhm, yeah.
Which is not good. You
Even
got to
on
think fiduciary.
commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, even on commercial, these residential agents are going out helping clients do retail deals, trying to negotiate letters of intent when they don't even know what's in a lease.
Right.
What you don't know, you don't know. So if you don't know what you don't know, how do you know what to negotiate and not in a simple boilerplate lease? In a letter of intent. So, but
Right.
those are things I teach in my class, and I always encourage new agents or any agent to come and learn about, even if they don't want to do commercial and they don't want to do business acquisition, at least come learn something different, learn about it so you can understand it and maybe talk intelligently to your client, and then
Right.
get them out to a referral or an agent that you like working with, in that sector.
What they should do is stay in their lane and list and sell houses, right? And then if they have a business situation, they should call you up, all right, and involve you in the transaction so it's done right and they have your experience and excellence and professionalism, okay, to get it done. That would be my advice because people ask me all the time, and that's what I tell them to do.
Me too. I
Right?
actually, in
It
my
should.
classes, I have a big slide up and it says "Stay in your lane" with a big, sign that says "Stay in your lane" because as an agent, you just shouldn't play in arenas you don't know about, and I don't either. If somebody asks me to take them down like development, I'm not, as a commercial agent, that's not an arena I play in. I probably would refer them out to someone that could really help them take them like from dirt to development. I can sell them the dirt, but I don't do development. So I probably wouldn't be the right agent for that. So we all have our niches and, we all should definitely stay in our lane, especially for Forrest. He would prefer us to do that.
Yes,
So,
yes, the name who can't be spoken. No, I'm kidding. No, Forrest is great, but yeah, you got to make sure you're doing it right, or because if Forrest calls you and you're not, it may not go well.
I kid Forrest because we're probably around the same. I think I started a few years before him, but I tell him to this day when he calls me, my heart drops because Forrest is calling you. It's never good, right? So
Right. Yeah, and he's a commissioner now too.
I know for
Cannot
sure.
petition the commission when he works here.
One time
Right.
he called me and I was like, oh my God, I don't know why he's calling me. So I let it go to voicemail, hoping he'd leave me a message. So at least I could be prepared to call him back. And he just texted me and he goes, call me. And I was like, oh no.
Oh no,
So
the dreaded call me.
the
No
dreaded call.
explanation.
Yeah, it was actually nothing, but you never know with Forrest. So
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. All right. Is there any? Okay, so one last question. Any businesses in Las Vegas that are just starting to like that are getting like something good to get involved in that you see coming, or is it pretty straightforward as far as what goes on as far as business wise?
In Las Vegas, it's always the same. People want bars, they want convenience stores, they want gas stations, they want laundromats, they want pizza places. It's like I get asked for the same things over and over. Doesn't change much here in Las Vegas. So, but I'll tell
No ice
you
cream.
this,
No ice cream.
those claw machines, those new claw machines that are everywhere, those seem to be very popular. So those I've had a couple asks for those, which is new. So,
I've seen a couple with gigantic claws and big stuffed animals inside there too.
yep,
Vegas,
yep. Now they
Vegas is
make
such
them
a
where
weird place.
you walk in. Yeah, you walk in and they're literally wall to wall, floor to floor. There's probably 50 of them. That's all that the business is, are these claw machines now. So must
That's
be
awesome. I love
profitable.
it. Hey, I love it. I love it. And you know, it's the great thing about Las Vegas when you live here is that every time someone calls you, like I'll let people call me I haven't talked to in 20 years. Hey, I'm coming to Vegas. Will you take us around? You automatically become the ambassador of Las Vegas, Nevada. Have you noticed this?
100%. 100%. Absolutely. Luckily my all my family lives here, so I don't have people that often, want to come visit. So for me, I still don't have to make it to the strip often, but we do all get those calls. Hey, come to Vegas. You're going to show us around. You're like, "Oh no, my God, I have to do this." But
Yeah, that's always, I've always found that interesting. I always find it interesting too that when people come here, they think like normal physics and laws and basic, niceties don't count anymore. Like they come here and they lose their minds and they think that they're gonna, it's just crazy. It's like one of those places. That's why they call it Sin City, I guess, right?
yeah, but it's not as cheap as it used to be, that's for sure. So it got to come with money now. And there's no 2.99 steak and egg breakfast. So
All you can eat buffet, right? Nope. Go to the Bellagio and you'll see what a breakfast can cost, but that is quite an experience if you haven't done it. I know
yeah, well,
you
now
have,
the
right?
buffets are like $100 for the fancy
Yeah.
ones, I think. So yeah, it's expensive.
And they
But
do
I'm
not let you,
happy to sell the business when they want to sell it.
right. There you go. All right, Jennifer. Well, thank you very much for taking your time out today. This was awesome. Always a pleasure chatting with you. I love your unique skills and what you bring, and it's awesome to listen to. And congratulations on your continued success. Keep rocking it. We love
Thank
having you
you.
here. And anything else you want to say to these lovely people that maybe I didn't ask you?
I think we covered it. Just,
Yeah.
everybody just want to tell everyone stay strong and say no. You'll get a lot
Yeah.
further along in life.
Is that the Nancy Reagan one? Just say no.
Just say no. Yeah, these people will suck you dry if you let them. So you got to be stronger now, and much more than you needed to before. So,
Totally agree. Well, awesome, and thank you very much for your time. You're the best. We'll talk soon. Bye, everybody.
bye.
See ya.